Hello.
Hi, everyone.
How you doing?
Who are you?
I'm Carla. And who are you?
Arlaana. We
are
are
Don't Mess with the Mommas.
Mommas. With our motto,
You are the protagonist of your life, not the victim of your destiny. See,
And today, take it away.
We're
What are we
talking about humanity.
What is a human?
What is a human? How do you become human? All, as many aspects as we can cover about humanity. So, Arlaana, you want to take it away?
Well, I always thought of this crazy test, and I'm sorry if I offend anybody because I have these wild thoughts in my head. So I said, instead of maybe a test for citizenship, we should have a test for who's the most human. And then based on how you score on that test, you become the wealthiest of the land. So everybody starts competing. Who could be more human? Who could be more humanistic? And how do you create that in your life? When we look at animals, animals have such deep sensitivity. There was a story about this guy who passed away. He took care of these elephants for years, and he passed away. And these elephants somehow, nobody really understands how, but they figured out where he lived, and they they paid homage to him. Every year thereafter, when he passed away, they would just stay, outside his home. So the sensitivity of animals, right? If animals are so sensitive, what about human beings? And how difficult, if people really realized how rare it is to be born a human being. You can be born a cockroach, right? You can be anything, But to be a human is so rare, and how we live our life determines how human we really become. Because just because you're born human doesn't mean you really know what that's about. And I know you, and I love what you say about the word hue. So,
okay, you, man, the root word, I believe, is hue. And hue means color, shade. So when you put it to you, man, it's man of many shades. So we have many different people in the world, many different shades, many different ways of living, and that's human. And I never knew that before until I got a little education on that.
So how do you become more human?
I think it starts at childbirth. You start learning certain things. Like when you're nursing your mother, if you bite your mother, she's going to pull away, and you're going to know, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. That's not right. Okay, you go to school, the first thing, kindergarten, you're learning. Don't bite your classmate. That's not nice. So then you have to refrain from that. You get to the sandbox. You start to learn, no, you can't throw sand in your playmate's eyes because that's not good. So you're constantly being molded to be human.
So how important it is to have, parents. Parents need to be trained how to raise their children.
True.
And be involved in their lives, and to really constantly help them along. But we have a concept in Buddhism, and it's, again, Buddhism is just life, human revolution. So no matter what you're doing in society, how you can polish your life day after day, that determines how human you could really become as you are. You don't have to be anything special. Treasure your life as it is. You are unique. However, whatever shape and form you come in, that's absolutely fine. Gosh, we need all of these different, individuals and such. But also comes a lot of responsibility being human, because how difficult it is to be human. And then our responsibility not to just, as you said in the previous episode, not to just take, but to be able to give, and to protect Mother Earth. Why do we call Mother Earth, right? So we have a mission of, we have the freedom to become more human, but we also have a deep sense of responsibility.
True. I was going to say that one of the sufferings of being a human is to fear that responsibility. People have sense that they have to always be told what to do. And if they don't have that, they feel that they're in danger. But being a human means taking responsibility, not necessarily lording it over all of life, but to be responsible in your actions.
Yes, in your actions, key point. And you talked about, when we were talking beforehand, about benchmarks in society and how that can really cause somebody, especially a young person, to want to take their life because they're not filling those benchmarks. These are all things set up by society. It doesn't mean that, we have to fill this, just to be as you are. You don't have to be this or that. But what are those benchmarks?
Graduating from college.
Or high school.
Or high school. Maybe you have to be number one in sports, marriage, raising your family. There's certain times when you're supposed to have achieved these things. And maybe that's not the way your life is going, but it doesn't necessarily mean that your life is bad or that you failed.
When somebody once jokingly said to me, when you are not married, you're struggling. When you get married, you have struggles. When you don't have children, you have struggles. Well, then you have children, you have struggles. So life is filled with struggles, but how to overcome them and to be the best we can be, Mm-hmm. So, you also talked about Elie Wiesel, and how to become more human. And what was that you shared?
He was, I believe he was in a concentration camp.
Absolutely, he was.
And he noticed that the people who really helped other prisoners, helped them. Maybe they gave them an extra piece of bread, or maybe they sang them a song or something. Those people survived. But the people who held on to everything, those were the ones who perished.
Right.
So, the ability to be altruistic, that's another part of being a human being. Not just thinking about yourself, but others.
And it's fine to be self-involved, especially when you're young, to really polish the diamond inside your life, to really achieve a sense of identity of who you are. And that's fine, celebrate that. But then also to move away from yourself. When I was really most depressed, I was so self-focused. That's what was causing my deep depression, right?
Oh, yes.
But then somebody encouraged me to open up the lens of my life. And when I started to look at things that way, I was able to pull in so much more joy into my life because I wasn't just self-focused. And human beings are meant to interact. In fact, to be human is to have relationships in any form. Please don't have relationships with your AI. Form other relationships, even if it's with a pet, that's fine, but something alive, right? Something alive, or a turtle, something alive. Even though we think AI is going to be alive in the future, but that's not true. I don't think at all.
Yeah.
But relationships are so important, and there was a study done on these individuals ages 62 and over who volunteered toward, after they retired, and they lived a longer life, So many of these very wealthy people are looking, well, how can I extend my life? Really, is it really important to extend your life, that much? How about extending your life through caring for others? That will really extend your life more than anything.
And it keeps you young.
It absolutely keeps you young. And to die a good death, you have to live a good life, right?
True.
And then you can just refresh your life. Because we absolutely are convinced that life is eternal, after you've lived a long life and a fulfilling life, well, then it's time to have a good rest and refresh yourself so that you can move on to the next thing that comes along.
And when you look at nature,
yes,
you go through all 4 seasons. There's spring, there's summer, there's fall, and there's winter. And each one of these things gives way to the other.
Right.
So we're a part of nature. How could we not come back again, and live again and go through the process all over again, learning what we need to learn and continuing. So every ending is a new beginning. Did you have something else that you wanted to add?
No, just the concept of just live your best life, and nobody should judge what that really means. If you're creating value with your life, you're becoming more human. If you're not creating value, or if you're harming others or trying to step over others to get what you want, you're becoming less human. And why is it important to be human? Because that's what leads to a happy life, a significant life. That's why we're born, to become happy. So, to really contribute to your own life and to contribute to others' lives as well. Many people are just, so hard on themselves, and that's not the correct way, because you are precious however you are. I don't care if you're tall or short or purple or pink or rich or poor, whatever it is, as you are, you have the ability to, what we call, to attain enlightenment. That's really what distinguishes humans from animals. But animals, we're finding out more and more, like, there's no way I'm ever going to eat an octopus again. After reading about the intelligence of octopuses, I would never eat an octopus again. And the more we find out about, the life around us, even water has consciousness, even water. And plants, everything, every living thing has consciousness. Even the dung beetle. Right?
Yeah, you can attain enlightenment, You wouldn't
As
think
they
it,
are.
but yeah. The other thing is, like, Nichiren Daishonin talked about how humanity is like, you could feel it on the tip of a fingertip.
Right.
That's how rare it is to be a human being. Because out of all the things that you could have been, you had enough fortune to be a human being.
Yeah.
So
treasure that fortune. Don't
appreciate yourself.
Appreciate yourself and treasure that fortune, because it doesn't mean it's going to hang out, right?
Yeah.
So encouraging words. We're a little shorter, but that's okay. And we would love to hear from you. Really, we want your opinion about what you think it means to be a human being. Mommas, MOMMAS podcast@gmail.com. Please write to us. Okay, 2 sets of encouraging words, which I thought were really perfect for this episode. Many people seek success and importance in the eyes of the world, but few aspire to become truly great human beings. Many wish to be showered with praise and attention, but few strive to build an inner happiness that will remain undiminished until the moment of their death and extend throughout the 3 existences of past, present, and future. And I'm going to read that again, because I think these are really so important. Many people seek success and importance in the eyes of the world, but few aspire to become truly great human beings. Many wish to be showered with praise and attention, but few strive to build an inner happiness that will remain undiminished until the moment of their death and extend throughout the 3 existences of past, present, and future. And then one more.
Yeah.
There is no way of life more desolate or more pitiful than one of ignorance of the fundamental joy that issues from the struggle to generate and regenerate one's own life from within. To be human is much more than the mere biological fact of standing erect and exercising reason and intelligence. The full and genuine meaning of our humanity is found in tapping the creative fonts of life itself. And also, I think that one thing that we mentioned when we were just dialoguing before this episode is the importance of art and culture, because economies come and go, politics and politicians come and go, but art and culture really bring out our humanity. So we really have to treasure the arts and culture as well.
Right. Yeah. And another thing, civilizations disappear, but people go on.
Right.
And it's through cooperation that we have been able to reach this point, and what we'll do in the future to go beyond this time now.
Absolutely.
Cooperation.
Absolutely. So
we are
Don't mess with the mamas, MOMMAS, with our motto. You are the protagonist of your life, not the victim of your destiny. Don't forget, you can find us on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram
And
and
Spotify.
Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon. Wherever you view or listen to your podcast, we would love to hear from you. Mommas, mommas.podcast@gmail.com. And please treasure your life. Treasure being a human being, okay? Because you are wonderful and unique as you are.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.